Welcome back to another episode of the Parent Advocacy Resource Team for all ages and stages of parenthood. I'm Jillian Lama, founder of Body You Crave Life and Weight Loss Coaching, and I'm today's host for this part video. So we partner with parents to create a network of trusted professionals to provide families with solutions to navigate this journey of life and being a family together. We do this through education, advocacy, empowerment, and connection. So today I have a very special guest, Linda MacLellan, a holistic health coach. So Linda's an RN, a holistic health coach that empowers others to be a healer in their home, either by Zytoscan, which personalizes essential oils and organic supplement protocols, or other holistic needs. The top 10 essential oils can be used for 85% of health issues that we experience, which just totally blows my mind. So thank you, Linda, for being here and welcome.
Thank you, Jillian. So excited to be here with you and just, and to invite parents into knowing that, if the doctor says something, they have other avenues to look for their child to support their health as they grow up.
Oh, yeah. That is, we are going to get along so well. I was like, yes. We were talking earlier and Linda and I don't know each other that well. And so I loved hosting these episodes, and I can already tell we are going to have a lot in common, and it's going to be a great conversation. Amen. Now, correct. So how do you pronounce the company here for the essential oils?
So I have my own website called Zytoscans.com. Mm-hmm. And how that came about is I was at a essential oil conference, and there was a Zytoscan machine there, and it's a type 2 medical grade machine approved by the FDA. Mm-hmm. So my conventional nurse's brain, it made that check off, like, okay, this is not just some made up cool thing, shoot in the dark holistic thing. It's actually proven with clinical research to actually be factual. Like, your body can't lie. It's like a lie detector test through GSR, given a skin response. You simply put your hand on the hand cradle, and it actually reads your cells at a cellular level to know what holistic supplements and essential oils will work. So Zytoscans.com is my company name, but I use essential oils from doTERRA because they're pharmaceutical graded oils. Like, they're getting every single oil checked off to be higher quality than a regular essential oil that you would just buy in the grocery store, or, for $10. That no, like, that's going to have something in it. Yeah. And you don't want to put that inside your body. Yeah.
Yeah. I use the doTERRA. They have like little capsules for allergies that I take.
Awesome.
And those I found to be so helpful. Which we'll get into all of that in just a second. But I was like, I feel like I didn't pronounce that word right. So I just wanted you to correct me there in the beginning. But before we get into all the nitty gritty of all of this, everybody has a parenting moment where we say something that we never quite expected, or that we kind of think back and we're like, oh yeah, that was one of those things that I always told myself I was never going to say, and now I'm saying it. Give us one of those experiences that you've had.
So sure. So I've been homeschooling for about 9 years. So one thing, because we've really bonded well, our twin daughters and I, and they're just about ready to go to college. So I've often said to them around that 9, 10, 11, where they're looking to see what other parents in other homes are saying. And I'm saying, well, that's what they do over there. In this house, this is what we do here. And my mother said the same thing. So I do feel like it's kind of generational. But, it's true. Every family has to decide what's best for their kids, and then let them know, you're treasured, you're loved, but we're not going to follow those rules. We're going to follow, what works for our family.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no matter what crazy moments you might be experiencing, that is what the PERT team is here to help you do, is to navigate all of the ups and downs and that messy middle in between as we navigate life and parenthood. So why don't you tell us a little bit more of how did you even get started in like essential oils and the holistic health coaching?
Sure. I mean, there's a long story. And I do have essential oil classes, monthly and on Zooms and things. But to put it in a nutshell, my daughter, one of our twin daughters, was having major digestive issues, and we weren't able to get conventional help. Like, all the tests were showing up negative. Very thankful she didn't have a mass, the tumor, but what was it? finally got a diagnosis of leaky gut. And, through looking online at who knew the most, because, online is what we use, for our wisdom a lot of times, after God, you go to the websites.
Yeah.
And there was a doctor, a holistic doctor, that said you do bone broth. And then there was someone on there sharing about essential oils. And I, as a nurse, had looked down on essential oils. I really had. And I look back and think I delayed my child's care because I didn't realize that essential oils were not just for smelling. They're actually be utilized for medicinal use inside the body topically. We'd use topically first. But, we had wins with our daughter. Like, she wasn't able to have a bowel movement, even constipation. And after a 30-day detox with essential oils, and I did it with her, she was like 14 at the time, we were doing enemas every day. It was a really crazy point where, this 30-day simple detox, where 10 days you repair organs, 10 days kill off, 10 days, support the organs to rebuild probiotics and things. She was able to have her pain number of 7, 8 was down to 0, and nausea as well. So it was just such a moment in my life where I know I had delayed care. I found what I needed now. And I was like, what else do essentials? What else could they do for us?
Yeah.
So that's how I got into the business. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So are there specific, and this is kind of a side little rabbit hole we're going to go down. So what kind of essential oils are important or helpful for something like leaky gut? Is there a protocol, or would you recommend a specific regimen? How does that work?
Right. Well, so first, anybody with allergies could have leaky gut, because this was one of the primary things that happened to our daughter. Just suddenly she was allergic to everything. We did these allergy panels. So anybody that has a child tested for many food allergies, they could be tested by a holistic doctor for something called zonulin. Zonulin is in the stool sample, comprehensive stool sample. May cost you a little bit of change, but at least you would know. And then you go after it. And so that way, you know what protocols you use. So you can look up in essential oil recipe book. You could definitely get a Zytoscan. Any child that's able to hold their hand on a Zytoscan, it's going to tell you at a cellular level what essential oils can help them. But if you just look up a recipe in a recipe book, there's different things for different, bodies. But I would say primarily, they do have a detox recipe, which the first one is just lemon essential oil. It actually helps to detox you. Once you've slept all night, you do it first thing in the morning, repeatedly throughout the day with digestive issues. And then there's different oils for cilantro and orange peel, which actually can take out some of the heavy metals or toxins that we want to detox from. And then the rebuild, there's one called DDR, which stands for damaged DNA repair, and a probiotic. Those aren't all of them, but those are some of the main ones that, my daughter and I, utilized. And, it wasn't overnight, but I would say within 3 months, with holistic eating, whole foods, not junk foods. Get out. If parents have heard of genetically modified organisms, make sure you don't get those, read the side panels on the boxes. We changed everything, but essential oils, without them, I wouldn't have my daughter back. So, it's definitely, you can definitely, treat leaky gut in your home without having to go, and spend a ton of money, so that, it's more effective, you save more money, and you can do it in your own home. So that's something that families, can find support, so they're not running to all these hospitals and all these doctors' offices. They can keep it more simple.
Yeah. So do you have a Zytoscan machine that people who you work with you can run that cellular analysis for?
Absolutely. I have one right now, and I'm actually almost ready to buy one that's remote, where I can just mail it out to people and they can utilize in other states. So this is something not just for locally. I can get Zyto Corporation to give me a code to be able to do a Zoom like we're doing now. And then, we would be able to analyze the report together, because I'm also, I have my essential oil coach from doTERRA, but I have my essential Zyto certification from Zyto Corporation, because there's a way to read the protocols. And I want to make sure people understand. And then once they get their oils in their home, I would meet with them again for support and education. Then we have different sites. We actually have this one called Free Essential Oil Classes run by practitioners, different conventional doctors that have seen that you can use essential oils, inside your bodies or on your bodies to support the systems. Even if you're somewhat conventional, you could actually use some of them together to support the liver. So it's not going to get toxic and cause, detoxification problems in the body. So I definitely can, you can go to Zytoscans.com and sign up for a booking with that. Yes.
Wow. That is so cool. And I'm like totally like fascinated and like confused because I'm like, how does it do all of this with just like a handprint, So,
yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, it's like the lie detector
ahead.
test. Yeah. It's like the lie detector test. So I know a lot of people have heard about, to get hired by the FBI or to be a police person or, anything in law enforcement, they have to pass that lie detector test. And it's the same technology, but doctors and scientists took that galvanic skin response GSR technology and, it empowered it and made it into medical technology. So your body cannot lie. So it's at a cellular level. I've even used it in an acute situation in my home. So I have proof that it's even worked on an acute situation. But chronic situations, by far, within 3 months' time, I am slowly starting to put some reviews on my website to show different people's results, that people are having results.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really interesting because I would say anywhere from like 60 to 70% of my clients have some kind of health condition, whether it's diabetes, an autoimmune disorder like hypothyroidism. There's, all kinds of things. So it's interesting just to see how common these things are right now and finding other ways of treating them outside of just medication. That's one of the big things. There's nothing wrong with medication. There are times when we need it, but I think sometimes we can over rely on it just as a society. I think that's how our healthcare system is set up. And I think there are many more options out there that we can be exploring. It can just be so overwhelming. Like you said, when we start searching online of like, all right, what do we do? And even if you are newly diagnosed, that can feel very overwhelming. So what do people think that you do that maybe isn't quite what you do? And then like, tell us a little bit more about like, what do you really do? Or what do you wish people knew that you did?
Yeah, well, I am a nurse. I'm not a doctor. And a lot of people think, okay, I'm in practice to heal them. I am not a healer. The GSR response will tell you at a cellular level what you need. I am basically a holistic RN, which will support you and can read the reports and help you on the journey to make sure that you get results. And I, with my holistic essential oil coach component, I know how oils work, even before I started doing Zytoscans. So that's pretty much, what I do. And I think what I want people to understand that this does give them answers. Like a lot of times people, have been told in the conventional world, there is no help. And, I had this woman one time, just to give an example, she was shaking. And, I was able to, with the Zytoscanner find out what the protocols were. And I got to meet with her and she wasn't shaking anymore. So that was just something I observed. And she, is very thankful because the doctors told her that she would always shake. I think it was called essential tremor. So
that just crossed my mind of like, were these like tremors, but they were just kind of like constant tremors?
Yeah, because I had met with her on a Zoom during, just the, this time that we're in the COVID time. And, and then we were so thankful to find a protocol that would work for her on the Zyto. And that way, she was able to figure out something holistically that would help. And that's kind of what happened with my daughter too, by the way. They just told her that she would have to get used to the pain and nausea, at age 14. And I was like, oh my gosh, my mother heart was like, there's no way that we're just going to learn to live with this. So of course, that, God put us in this world, there's going to be some answers. So I think the going back to your original question, this provides answers that you would not be able to know otherwise. This is the simple 8-minute scan of a hand.
Yeah. Wow. That's fascinating. I know I'm like, I need this. I know some of my clients need this. I got family members who need this. I'm like
Absolutely.
all the people. And it's, it's interesting that you bring up that what the doctor had said about your daughter just needing to get used to the pain. And I've heard, I think there are people struggling with long COVID symptoms who have been told, like, you just have to you have to figure out how to how to deal with it. And it's like intense headaches, migraines, things like that. When I was growing up, I developed pneumonia, and then afterwards, like I was better, but then I had this cough. And so my mom had taken me back to the doctor, and I think multiple times. And he had said, like, she's just going to have a cough for the rest of her life. And she was kind of like, really? And so it's like, I am so grateful that she had the guts to be like,
Amen.
That's not acceptable. Like, this is not
No.
okay. Like, no, she's not just going to live with a cough for the rest of her life. And so they took me off dairy and then off of wheat. And so off the dairy really helped to clear things up. But then when we went off wheat completely, that really helped. And so now I can reintroduce it, but I do notice, like, if I can always tell if I've had some. So it's been really interesting to kind of see, and just to also to empower anybody watching that if you get a diagnosis, or if you get something, feedback from a doctor, to also feel like you can trust your intuition and trust that God sense of like, something's not right, or like, this is not okay. There's got to be something else here, because we are all humans. We are all fallible, and we only know what we know. And some people they're doing the best that they can. Like, they have good intentions, but the scope of their work just might be limited, and that's okay. But you can feel empowered to go out and find the answers that you want.
Right. Like, I still work as a nurse in a local hospital in Raleigh. And I did have to make that, decision on purpose, that I would not, be sad about, working with doctors that didn't find answers for my daughter. Like, I had to on purpose, forgive, because honestly, the medical profession is only taught so much in their medical time, and they're not taught a lot about holistic. I think you probably would concur. Like, I think they spend a day on nutrition, like one day.
Yes, right.
And so I cannot hold these doctors accountable for, all these things. Like, we just don't. But like, I don't hold them accountable, like, because, I forgive, because like their profession just didn't provide that education like you and I have, in the holistic realm. So,
Right. Do you have one or two tips that you can share with our audience about how then they can create healthier lifestyles, create a healthier home? Where should they start? What should they be looking for?
Right. Well, definitely, if you could find a holistic practitioner, that is awesome. If they are having issues, like our daughter, we were able to find someone to do, something for the leaky gut, like comprehensive stool study. But then, be your own advocate. You can go to my website, Zytoscans.com. I'm also on, Facebook, Linda MacLellan RN, Zytoscans.com. But there's different resources, that we have on our team that actually, are run by doctors that can, help them learn how to use, essential oils in their home, the top 10, like we were talking about a little bit, just on a daily basis to help, daily detoxing with your children. You can teach them. So whenever they're the age that our twins are, their children already know, instead of going for a Motrin Tylenol, they may grab some peppermint essential oil for a headache, or, grab frankincense if they accidentally hit their head on something. They can make something called a roller ball and roll it on the head for inflammation. And that way, for the next generation, as you raise your children, they're going to be, able to be empowered to not have to go to pharmaceuticals, get hooked on things. That's my prayer for everyone as we launch ours to college in the fall, 2 of them. So
yeah. Oh, I love that. All right. Well, we're going to be talking some more after we finish this recording, but we will list all of the links below for how you can contact Linda and get in touch and learn more, because it's these small, simple steps that you will see that they compound over time. We don't always have to make these big, massive changes and these overhauls. It's just one small step at a time. And that's how you get better, just a little bit, and trusting that is good enough. You can start there, start simple. So if you have let's kind of wrap up with like, what is your best self-care tip for moms?
I would say sleep. If you can put sleep in there, and I'm a nurse still, and I'm actually a mother-baby nurse.
Oh,
And we tell our moms, and no matter what your age, you should try to get sleep, even if it's during the day.
Yeah.
I often did naps with our twins when they were little. I got more sleep during the day sometimes, crazy as that sounds like when they're babies.
Yeah.
And as they age up there, it's still sleep, because if you can't think straight, to come up with a solution for your family, taking care of your sleep is so vital.
Yes.
That's the one big thing for sure.
Yes. Oh, I love that you said that. That's where I start everybody off of like, if there's one habit, one basic we need, we're going to start with sleep, and then we're going to go to water. Like those are the top two things of like,
I was thinking that.
Yeah. Like, but let's get the sleep like going, because there's so much that your body does to repair and regenerate and to help heal. And yeah, it's just such an important part that we often think that there are other better things to be doing as moms, and we have to give ourselves those breaks and that time to sleep when we need it. Yes.
Right. And there are essential oils to support that, because I know I have 4 daughters actually, and I have, my nursing career, and then this, Zytoscans.com, a lot of, plates to spin. So to turn the head off at night, you do the cupping method. So with the favorite oil of calming, you would just go ahead and put 1 drop there, rub hands together. You're going to do cupping just a couple of times. You don't want to hyperventilate, but even if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can use your oil to make yourself go back to sleep and turn off all those things, so you can rest and sleep while your children are sleeping as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing. You were such a wealth of knowledge and information, and such a great resource. We're so happy to have you as a part of the team, and it has just been a lovely conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jillian. Appreciate it. I look forward to working with you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So the Parent Advocacy Resource Team is a partnership with parents to navigate this journey of life and being a family. We'll see y'all next time.